What's up, dummies? We're about to react to the worst ways people have died in their sleep. I didn't even know you could die in your sleep, but apparently someone had a nightmare so bad that they passed away while sleeping. These are gonna be some crazy sleep stories. Try not to get scared. Let's go.
The death by exploding phone.
Wait, what? The first thing is the death by exploding phone. Don't tell me someone's phone exploded right next to them while they were sleeping. Yo, what? Okay, these are gonna be crazy deaths.
A girl
Let's
went
go.
to sleep in her bedroom in Bastov, Kazakhstan on September 27th, 2019. Like many teenagers around the world, she had developed the habit of falling asleep while listening to music on her smartphone.
I've done that before, bro. I've been on my phone, like watching YouTube, and then I fell asleep. I didn't think I could die.
That night, she plugged her device into a wall outlet to charge and placed it on her pillow, just inches from her head.
Okay, people do this all the time. They plug their phone in and they leave their phone like under their pillow or something, which is really bad. You're 5G maxing. You're getting a bunch of EMF right through your head while you're trying to sleep. But let's see what happens.
The smartphone, a Chinese-made model, had been modified with an aftermarket battery.
She got a Chinese smartphone, bro. No wonder
These
you're dying.
These replacement batteries often lack the safety features of manufacturer-approved components. As she slept, the lithium-ion battery inside her phone began to overheat. At some point during the night, it reached its critical temperature threshold. In the early morning hours, while the entire household was asleep, the battery catastrophically failed. The chemical reaction inside the battery became unstable, creating a rapid expansion of gases. The pressure built within seconds until the battery could no longer contain it. The phone exploded with tremendous force directly beside her head. The blast was powerful enough to cause severe trauma to her skull. Fragments of the phone's casing became projectiles, embedding into her skin and deeper tissues.
Bro, imagine you put your phone on your pillow and you're just going to sleep, and then it explodes into your head and your head explodes off.
The thermal energy released in the explosion caused localized burns to her face and neck. Family members in adjacent rooms heard nothing. The explosion was intense but brief, the sound absorbed by bedding materials. When her parents entered her room the next morning, they found a scene that appeared peaceful at first glance.
Oh my gosh.
She seemed to be still sleeping. It was only when they attempted to wake her that they discovered the devastating truth.
Oh my god.
The injuries to her head had been immediately fatal. Melted phone components were fused to her pillow, surrounded by scorch marks. Forensic investigators later determined that she had died instantly from the combined effects of blunt force trauma and penetrating injuries to her.
Well, I mean, that's a good thing that she died instantly, because it would suck if she, it exploded and then she was like, ah, and she was in pain. Good thing it was just instant. But damn, that's an explosive phone, bro. Like, you can literally die while sleeping because of your phone. I'm definitely not keeping my phone near me whenever I go to bed. And I mean, I don't even do that. I don't even charge my phone in the same room as me as I sleep, because it's just a bunch of EMF.
She never woke to realize what was happening.
All right, here's the next one.
The man swallowed by the earth.
Huh? This guy got swallowed by the earth? That sounds fun.
A 37-year-old man was going to bed on February 28th, 2013, in his family home in Seffner, Florida. It was an ordinary night in a quiet suburban neighborhood. As he lay sleeping in his bedroom, there was no indication of the danger lurking directly beneath him.
Yeah, like, what's gonna happen, bro? Did his house, break open and he fell all the way down into his, basement or something?
At approximately 11 p.m., his brother heard what sounded like a violent crash, followed by his screams. The brother rushed to his room, only to find that the bedroom had disappeared. In its place was a gaping 20-foot wide crater.
Wow.
The entire room, with him still in his bed, had been swallowed by the earth. I heard a loud crash, like a car hitting the side of the house, the brother later told reporters. I heard my brother screaming for help. The brother jumped into the hole, frantically digging through the collapsed debris with his hands. But the ground continued to shift and collapse around him. First responders arrived within minutes. They pulled the brother from the sinkhole, but couldn't reach the man. Rescue workers lowered specialized equipment into the hole, including microphones and cameras, hoping to locate him.
So you can just fall into the earth? That's what a sinkhole is? I could just be standing here making a video and then just all absolutely crumble? What?
There was no response. Geologists at the scene delivered devastating news. The sinkhole was still actively expanding beneath the surface.
Wow.
The limestone beneath Florida is riddled with underground caverns that can collapse when groundwater dissolves the rock. In his case, the collapse happened with extraordinary speed and fatal precision. He wasn't crushed slowly or given any chance to escape. The earth simply opened and pulled him downward into its depths.
So he just
After
fell,
36
how
hours,
far?
authorities made the difficult decision to call off the rescue operation. The house was too unstable, putting rescuers at risk of being swallowed themselves. His body remained entombed 50 to 60 feet below ground.
50 or 60 feet? Think about this, bro. I'm 6 feet tall, right? So you see how tall I am? Imagine 6 of me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of me. Boom, 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 boom. All the way down.
Engineers later demolished the home, filling the sinkhole with gravel and concrete, while his remains stayed buried in the earth that had claimed him.
Wow, they covered up the hole while he was still in there? What?
The man killed by a falling cow.
What? Okay, this has got to be cap. Somebody was killed while he was sleeping by a falling cow? Imagine you go to sleep like, oh, I can't wait to go. Oh, I'm dreaming. Boom! A cow falls in your room and kills you.
A 45-year-old man went to bed with his wife in their home in Caratinga, Brazil. On July 10th,
this type stuff would happen in Brazil.
2013. Their modest house sat on a hillside in a semi-rural area where livestock often grazed on the steep terrain behind residential
I would love to live where there's a bunch of cows and stuff, but I would not want a cow to jump on me and kill me.
properties. It was a warm night, and the couple had settled in for what they expected to be a peaceful sleep. At approximately 1:30 a.m., a 1-ton cow escaped from a nearby farm. The animal wandered onto the hill directly behind their residence. In the darkness, the cow stepped onto the sloped roof of their single-story home.
Oh my gosh.
The structure wasn't designed to support such weight. The roof was made of thin, corrugated asbestos sheets, a common and inexpensive building material in the region. The panels immediately buckled under the cow's weight. With a sudden crack, the roof gave way completely. The animal, still disoriented, plunged through the opening and fell approximately 8 feet straight down. It landed directly on the bed where the couple were sleeping. The bulk of the cow's weight struck the husband's side of the mattress. His wife, merely inches away, was entirely unharmed. The impact crushed his chest and legs, pinning him to the bed frame beneath the panicked animal. Neighbors later reported hearing both the crash and the distressed sounds of the cow as it struggled to regain its footing in the confined bedroom space. His wife managed to escape the bedroom and called for help. First responders arrived and removed the cow, which had suffered only minor injuries in the fall. He was alive but badly injured. He was conscious, in excruciating pain, and struggling to breathe as internal bleeding rapidly filled his chest cavity. Paramedics transported him to regional hospital in Caratinga. Doctors identified severe crushing injuries to his ribcage and multiple fractures. Despite medical intervention, he succumbed to internal hemorrhaging after nearly 8 hours in the hospital.
Bro, imagine you die by a cow.
The cow survived. The victim of a collapsing bed.
Collapsing bed? Okay, this one sounds kind of
39-year-old mother of 3 began organizing her bedroom at her home in Seaham, County Durham, on June 7th, 2024. As a mother of 3, she was accustomed to maximizing storage space in their modest semi-detached house. Her Ottoman-style bed featured a large storage compartment.
Oh my god, I think the bed that can move up is going to crush her. Oh my god.
Beneath the mattress, accessible by lifting the entire bed frame on hydraulic gas pistons. It was early afternoon when she decided to retrieve seasonal clothing from the storage space. She lifted the heavy wooden frame, which rose smoothly on its gas lift mechanism. The pistons were designed to hold the weight of the frame and mattress indefinitely, while items were retrieved or stored. She leaned forward, reaching deep into the storage area with her upper body partially inside the compartment. Without warning, one of the hydraulic pistons failed catastrophically. The metal connecting rod separated from its mounting bracket with a sharp crack. The full weight of the queen-size mattress and solid wood frame, approximately 130 pounds, came crashing down in an instant. The edge of the wooden frame struck her directly across the back of her neck. The impact wasn't immediately fatal. She found herself pinned face down inside the storage space, the heavy frame pressing against her cervical spine.
And since she's getting since she's getting like squeezed, she can't scream. She's like,
compressed her airway and restricted blood flow to her brain. She couldn't call for help or reach her phone. Her arms were trapped inside the storage area, making it impossible to push against the weight crushing her. Medical experts later explained that she experienced positional asphyxia, a form of suffocation that occurs when the body is positioned in a way that prevents proper breathing. Consciousness fades within 60 to 90 seconds as oxygen levels plummet. She would have felt increasing panic, followed by lightheadedness before losing consciousness entirely. Her 13-year-old daughter discovered her body 3 hours later after returning from school. Emergency services confirmed that she had died from compression asphyxia. The manufacturers of the bed subsequently recalled thousands of similar models with the same hydraulic mechanism. The fatal intrusion of an airplane.
Airplane? Bro, imagine you're sleeping and the airplane crashes into your house and kills you.
Down for an afternoon nap in her family's mobile home in Lake Worth, Florida, on October 13,
What's going on in Florida, bro?
The single-story residence was located in the Marmot Colony Club, a mobile home community situated less than 2 miles from Palm Beach County Park Airport. Aircraft noise was a common part of daily life in the neighborhood. At approximately 5:45 p.m., she was asleep in her bedroom while her father was outside the home. The weather was clear with light wind.
Why are you sleeping at 5:45?
Perfect flying conditions. Above the mobile home park, a single-engine Piper Cherokee aircraft was experiencing severe mechanical difficulties. The pilot, a student on a solo training flight, had reported engine trouble to air traffic control moments earlier. Witnesses on the ground described hearing a sputtering engine, followed by an eerie silence as the aircraft's propeller stopped turning. The Piper, now essentially a 1-ton glider, descended rapidly from an altitude of 1,000 feet. The pilot attempted to steer toward an open field, but lost control in the final moments of descent. The aircraft was traveling at approximately 90 miles per hour when it struck the roof of the family's home. The impact tore through the thin metal roof and wooden frame structure with devastating force. The aircraft's fuel tanks ruptured upon impact, spraying aviation fuel throughout the interior of the home. The hot engine components ignited the fuel almost instantly. Within seconds, the entire structure was engulfed in flames. Her father heard the crash and saw black smoke billowing from his home. He ran toward the structure, but the intensity of the fire prevented him from entering. The flames reached temperatures exceeding 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit, consuming the lightweight construction materials within minutes. Firefighters arrived within 7 minutes of the crash, but could do nothing to save her. The intense heat had caused fatal burns and smoke inhalation within the first moments after impact. Her body was recovered only after the fire had been fully extinguished.
She's black!
The pilot also perished in the crash. The man killed by a falling tree. A 20-year-old man went to sleep in his mobile home in Hall County, Georgia on October 1st, 2024. The weather forecast had predicted severe thunderstorms overnight, with potential wind gusts reaching up to 60 miles per hour.
60-mile-per-hour wind? Yeah, bro. He must have got unlucky. He must have had a tree right outside his window. Boom!
His mobile home was situated in a wooded area, surrounded by mature oak and pine trees, some towering over 80 feet tall. At approximately 4:45 a.m., a powerful line of thunderstorms moved through the region. The National Weather Service recorded wind speeds exceeding 55 miles per hour. Rain fell in blinding sheets, saturating the ground around the roots of the trees. Lightning illuminated the night sky in frequent, brilliant flashes. Inside his bedroom, he slept through the storm, unaware of the danger looming above him. A 90-foot-tall red oak tree stood 20 yards from the mobile home. The tree was healthy in appearance, but its root system had been gradually compromised by recent heavy rainfall. As the storm's powerful winds pushed against its massive canopy, the waterlogged soil gave way. The tree began to tip slowly at first, then accelerated as gravity took over. The oak, weighing approximately 11,000 pounds, fell directly toward his mobile home. The trunk smashed through the thin metal roof with tremendous force,
just completely emptied his house out, bro.
The point of impact was directly above his bedroom, where he lay sleeping. The massive trunk crushed the mobile home's frame, driving splintered wooden beams and metal roofing material downward. The bedroom
literally, bro, that's the biggest splinter ever.
To less than 2 feet of space between floor and ceiling. Neighbors later reported hearing the distinctive crack of the tree breaking, followed by a thunderous crash as it struck the home. Medical examiners determined that he never woke. The impact caused immediate and catastrophic crushing injuries.
Chopped his head open.
His head and thorax. The compression force exceeded 8,000 pounds per square inch, instantly collapsing his skull and rib cage. Death was instantaneous, a small mercy in an otherwise unimaginable end. The car that became a battering ram.
Somebody drove a car through someone's head. All right, yeah, it's over. Dude, imagine you're sleeping and somebody runs you over. Like, I didn't even think that was possible.
A 62-year-old woman went to bed in her single-story home in Sarasota, Florida on April 18th.
What's up with this Florida stuff?
2014.
I'm never going there.
Her bedroom was located at the front of the house, approximately 17 feet from the street. It was a quiet residential neighborhood with a 25-mile-per-hour speed limit, and she had lived there.
25-mile-per-hour speed limit. I bet somebody came through going 90, crashed, ruined the bed, ruined the person.
Peacefully for over 20 years. At approximately 1:12 a.m. on April 19th, a 24-year-old woman was involved in a heated argument with her ex-boyfriend at a nearby residence. According to witnesses, she left the confrontation in a state of extreme agitation, climbed into her Audi A3 sedan, and accelerated away from the scene at high speed. The Audi traveled less than a quarter mile before she lost control while attempting to navigate a slight curve in the road. The vehicle left the pavement traveling at approximately 70 miles per hour.
Oh my God.
It crossed the homeowner's front yard, became briefly airborne as it hit a small decorative embankment, and then crashed directly into the front bedroom of her home. The 2,000-pound vehicle tore through the exterior wall with devastating force. Stucco drywall and wooden framing splintered instantly. The car penetrated approximately 12 feet into the structure before finally coming to rest. The front bumper stopped just inches from where the woman lay sleeping. The initial impact crushed her bed against the far wall of the bedroom. The compression force was immediate and overwhelming. The steel frame of the vehicle struck her body directly, causing massive blunt force trauma to her torso and head.
Dude. Dude, so she just like was asleep and then she got ran over?
The wall behind her bed provided no escape route, effectively creating a crushing vice between it and the vehicle.
Wow!
First responders arrived within 6 minutes of the crash, but
What happened to the girl driving though?
found her already deceased. The medical examiner later determined that she suffered multiple severe injuries, including a transected aorta, crushed ribs that punctured both lungs, and catastrophic head trauma. Death occurred within seconds of impact. The driver survived with minor injuries and was later sentenced to 12 years in prison for vehicular homicide.
12 years in
The
prison?
lethal electric blanket.
Electric blanket. Bro, I know a lot of people who have these heated blankets. I don't mess with them because it's technology. Why would you want technology right on your body at all times? This is gonna show a lot of people that electric blankets are bad, bro.
A 61-year-old woman went to bed in her
Oh, she's freaking 61. It's a grandma. And it's snowing outside and she just wanted to be warm. Maybe her grandson got her a freaking electric blanket for Christmas. Oh.
two-story home in Randallstown, Maryland on January 15th, 2023. The winter night was particularly cold, with temperatures dropping to 17 degrees Fahrenheit. To stay warm, she placed an electric blanket on her bed and turned it to its highest setting before falling asleep. The blanket was a dual control model designed to heat different sides of a bed independently. It featured automatic shutoff mechanisms and overheat protection, but the unit she used was over 7 years old. The wiring inside had degraded over time, creating weak points in the insulation where the heating elements flexed repeatedly with each use and wash.
Whatever that means, I don't know, but that sounds
At
bad.
approximately 2:20 a.m. on January 16th, while she slept deeply, a critical failure occurred in the blanket's wiring. A short circuit developed where the insulation had worn away near the controller connection. The electrical current began arcing between exposed wires, generating intense heat that quickly reached 700 degrees Fahrenheit. The synthetic fabric of the blanket began to smolder, releasing dense toxic smoke containing carbon monoxide, hydrogen cyanide, and other poisonous gases.
Bro, wake up. She's still sleeping, bro. I would be awake so fast.
These fumes spread throughout her bedroom while she remained asleep. The carbon monoxide bound to her hemoglobin, preventing oxygen from reaching her tissues. The hydrogen cyanide paralyzed her cellular respiration. She never woke up. The smoke detectors in her home had been disabled months earlier when she removed the batteries after they triggered during cooking.
Bro, she removed her smoke detectors, bro.
The smoldering blanket continued to burn slowly, eventually igniting the bedding, then the mattress, and finally spreading to nearby curtains and furniture. A neighbor noticed smoke coming from upstairs windows at 3:45 a.m. and called emergency.
What the hell was the neighbor doing at 3:45 a.m.? Shout out to him.
Firefighters arrived within 7 minutes and forced entry into the home. They found the second floor filled with thick black smoke, and the bedroom fully engulfed in flames. Her body was recovered from what remained of her bed. The medical examiner determined that she had died from smoke inhalation and carbon monoxide poisoning long before the flames reached her body. She had been unconscious within 30 seconds of the first fumes and dead within minutes.
So that's actually crazy. So she didn't die from the fire burning her. She actually passed away because the blanket was made of a bunch of synthetic materials. It was like plastic and stuff. So when the blanket started catching on fire or becoming hot, it started releasing chemicals in the air, and then she was sleeping, and since she was breathing in these chemicals, it like knocked her out because the chemicals were bad for her. And then so she literally went to bed and then just never even knew. Wow, bro. This should show you guys, be careful when you sleep. Use natural stuff. Sleeping is actually pretty scary if you're using some plastic nasty blanket. And don't get ran over, by the way, too.